Guys, in case you weren't aware, this podcast is on Patreon. It's at patreon.com/Sly Guy Podcast, or you can access the Patreon by following the link in the description of the podcast. There you'll find early access to the podcast, question opportunities, vlogs, specials, and much more. You can subscribe to Patreon now for as little as £2 a month and support the Sly Guy Podcast. We're brought to you in association with Visual Antics Apparel, the supplier of all the merchandise associated with the Sly Guy Podcast. You can follow the link in the description of the podcast to get access to the wide range of Sly Guy Podcast merch, including the Fox logo, attires, caps, hoodies, t-shirts long and short sleeved, and much more. And not only that, but you can get 10% off by using the discount code SLYGUY at checkout. SLYGUY10 actually at checkout. That's SLYGUY10 at checkout. The official beer of the Sly Guy Podcast is Modest Beer. This is a modest read for a modest beer. If you want 15% off, you can use the discount code SLYPA15 at checkout to get 15% off your modest beer today.
I'm the Sly Guy.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Sly Guy Podcast. This was an episode that was potentially fraught with difficulties from the beginning. I had some tech issues with that stupid sound recorder in that it for some reason was set to the language of Cantonese, which as much as I am a man of the world, I cannot read. I mean, I can speak it fluently, but I can't quite have mastered the art of reading it. So that delayed us. Then I bought bottles of water, which for some reason smell exactly like vomit. I don't know whether like cats or rats have just peed all over them, but I tell you where I'm going straight after this, back to the shop to return them, because it's not good. But what is good is what we returned and retaliated and retrieved from the darkness that could have been this episode. And that was a fun episode with my guest, my best friend in the world, Diona Doherty. It was definitely, it was an up and down episode of real mindfucks. We chatted about archaeology. We chatted about the Girls Group Chat podcast. We chatted about people annoying us. And we chatted about our kids being little freaks. But anyway, that's the intro for this week's episode with me and Diona Doherty. Oh, it's my best friend. Diona, how are you?
David.
Look at those eyebrows. They're flaky.
Can
I just say?
I've soaped them to my head. So
is that a thing?
Yes, soap brows. So people use like an actual thing, a bar of soap, and you get like a brush, and you do this here.
Oh, I thought they were wee like razors.
No, they're wee makeup brushes, and you comb them, and then they like almost like putting like gel on your eyebrows. Oh, it's so stupid.
Right, okay. Because what I thought those wee brushes were like, you know, Shane from Westlife.
Yes.
Not Westlife. Shane from Boyzone used to have like the slit.
Yeah.
I thought you were just doing loads of wee slits.
Loads of them. Yeah. No, I've brushed mine up, but I had chicken pox in my right eyebrow whenever I was away, so I've now got like a gap.
Oh no.
That I haven't filled in because I don't have the equipment.
Would you not just use fake bit of hair?
Just like
if you're using soap, you can just fill it in.
Just cut a wee bit off here each day and just stick it in there.
I could give you some of my on top of my head. It looks like.
Why have you got a hat on, Dave?
Because I have to grow my hair and I don't want to. It looks stupid. You know what I look like? I look like I don't give a fuck to be alive.
Why can't you just have your normal head?
Because I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
But I've been talking myself all day that I have not been.
What have you been talking about? Let's welcome to the show again. By the way,
welcome back.
See, just before we start, this is the Sly Guy Podcast, and I feel like I've just had one of those days.
Dave, you've had a hard time since I came in. To be honest, I was letting you work it out by yourself.
Yeah, and you know what? I must say, you were very like you. I think you were what a good like husband should be whenever their wife's giving birth.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Leave them to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you were there, but you were supportive. You were like, I know maybe things are a bit stressful for you and you're finding this a bit hard, but just know I'm here and I'm not going to get cross it.
And also, I can't help you. And I don't want to pretend like I have the skills to help you. So your machine wasn't working. It was in Chinese.
Yeah.
It was in Chinese. It's not that it's not working. If it's working, but it's working in somebody else's country.
Yeah. And I can't read Chinese unless there's like little numbers beside them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it was just really stressing me out. And then I went to the shop last night. I bought a whole selection of new bottles of water. Not only just bottles of water, smart water.
Yeah.
They're not even, they're glasso smart water. I don't even know what that means. But I imagine it's from a glacier.
Right. I
And I
think they all
thought, you
are.
know what I mean? Then it wasn't cheap. Like, it wasn't like these.
Are you going to go back? Are you the sort of person? So obviously these bottles of water smell like Boke, taste like Boke.
Right. So
Wake a Boke.
what happened? I gave you one. You're like, can I hydrate? And I went, oh, absolutely, because hydration is one of the most under.
And you're a big guy for hydration.
Oh, I need it.
You are a big guy for hydration.
Yeah.
You love it.
I love to hydrate.
Yeah.
And you opened it up and you went, oh, Dave, this smells like Boke.
Smells like Boke.
And a truer scent you couldn't have.
There's a distinct smell of Boke. But come here, are you going to go back with those? Are
Yes.
you that sly guy?
You know what? Why I'm going back? Because they're so stinking, and it's also beside my gym. So
Okay, so it's easy to go back.
Yeah, it's kind of there. But at the same time, in today's society, cost of living crisis, I'm not just going to dump 12 bottles of water just in the bin.
Cost of living crisis is such an old school phrase. Today I also said the word credit crunch to somebody, and I was like,
that's very old.
this is like a 2-decade-old reference. I'm like, oh, it's the credit crunch. It was the credit crunch in 2013 or something.
Oh, but that everything's so dear now.
Yeah, everything is so dear now. Like if you go, see if you even want to buy like meat in the shop, meat, a couple chicken breasts might set you back £8.
Yeah.
Now in saying that there, if you had to go outside, slaughter a chicken, defeather it, get its tits out, wrap them up in a packet.
I mean, that's not appropriate amongst it all.
Oh, is that,
Like, you're killing it. Like, you don't have to disrespect it by whopping its ditties out too. Like, well, since we're skinning you, there you go.
give us a jig at your dids. And then that, so you think about that process, that is actually cheap to buy then a box of chicken breasts for £8.
Yeah.
But I want them for cheaper.
Yeah, I do too. And
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
that's, we know people like out protesting about governments and all and this and that. You know what I like? Stuff to be cheaper.
Hey ho.
That's it.
I mean, what's McDonald's like now? Like, see if you take your kids to McDonald's. Do you remember Happy Meals? $1.99.
Oh yeah, the good old days.
$3.19.
Oh, but you know what? Also on that front, McDonald's toys, shit.
You don't ever get the toy. It's always a book.
And it's a bit of, like, Holly got she did a dance contest. So again, whenever you're physically impressive as a dancer and athletic, there's no better way to reward yourself than stuffing your wee fat face with a McDonald's Happy Meal after you've just been dancing all day. But she got like a little Superman guy made out of cardboard.
They're all cardboard.
I got shit. I remember having toys in a Happy Meal that were made out of like thick rubber with wires inside it, and you could like move their arms and all. They were class.
Yeah, like proper toys.
Yeah, proper toys.
Whereas now they're either, I always find they're like the wee toys that have the wee hook on them that you can hang on your Christmas tree or your like rear view mirror or something. And my house is coming down with them, and I'm embarrassed because I'm looking around being like, this is the amount of times. Like my daughter will open her toy and McDonald's will go, oh, not this one again. And I'm like, you've been here too many times.
But,
you don't deserve this.
But see, if I took over McDonald's,
Yeah.
for a start, I would get cheaper meat. I would just, get to see the stuff, see if it has eyeballs and all in it. Fuck it. Get good toys. I got a lamp from Aladdin. Lamp.
Like a wee gravy boat?
Like, and I hit my sister with it.
Yeah.
And it nearly split her open. Like, it's a toy. You should be able to split your siblings open with toys you get at McDonald's. Not paper cut them.
That's what KFC should do, is come in with a full rebrand and be like, we're going to provide you with toys you could split your siblings with.
Yeah, like proper quality toys with good plastic, and it's a danger.
All the wee shit kids that want to go to KFC, them just hope they'll get some big bit of metal to split their sister.
Just blades. Imagine that. But do you see what Burger King have done recently? They have produced an advert, because remember McDonald's, like, there's this thing about McDonald's Big Macs that if you leave it, it doesn't mold ever. And it just sits forever. Burger King did a time lapse video being like, our stuff molds.
Well,
so the video was there, and the burger was just all going moldy and stinking because it was fresh ingredients, not full of preservatives.
It's a wee bit of a backwards way to advertise yourself, isn't it? To be like, look, our stuff decays like rapidly. Do you know what you're saying about splitting your brother or sister? I did split my brother open with a golf ball whenever we were wee. So we were outside playing. I think all kids went through a stage where they started playing golf.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
The clubs became popular and everyone just got golf balls, and I don't know if everyone's...
Real golf balls, like not...
No, real golf balls.
I got the wee ones that were like, had all the holes in them that wouldn't hurt people that I could play in my garden with. Not actual golf balls, because they fly.
No, actual golf balls. We had a full, like, I was like his caddy. Is that what you call it?
Caddy's the guy who just carries the bag.
I was carrying all his... He had like a full set of like proper like 10 clubs on it, and he was like 8, and like it was like bigger than him, and like proper balls and all. And we were out the front, and we had a front, we green out there front, and he smacked one and it went through someone's window, obviously, because they're like full golf balls.
Yeah, of course.
And I lifted another one and chucked it at his head and hit him. And split his head.
Did he cry?
Aye, because he's a wee gimp.
Yeah.
Wise up and sew your head back together.
Yeah,
That's what my ma said.
But that was it. That was the good old days. Not go and play Switch.
I mean,
Shut
but kids don't even go outside now. Do your kids go outside?
Yes.
Do they?
Yeah.
But do they go outside with other kids?
Not yet.
Okay.
But we did.
Well, I know they go outside with
Yes.
you. I know you leave your
They
house
go play in
sometimes.
the garden by themselves.
Ah,
and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
they do that. But our house is literally a building site at the minute, so I'm a bit like, I don't know if you should be playing with a cement mixer. It's not a good spot for
No,
any
yeah.
I'm like, stop that. We did last night go round to one of Matilda's wee friends' houses because she has got chicken pox.
You a chicken box
So-
party?
So no, we weren't going to get it. We've already had it.
Oh,
Completed
right.
it. But no, we went round like it was like COVID style. It went and stood at the end of the gate. Matilda got made her a wee a wee bag full of like sweets
Aw.
and magazine and all. It's like, but she came
That's
home
so
from
cute.
school and like, I mean, when I say Devo, she was devastated,
That her friend had chicken box?
crying her eyes out. She's so sick. She's sick. She's not at school. Like, I can't believe it. And I was like, it's gonna be all right.
Oh no, that is so cute.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, get her something and go around and knock her door. And then she didn't want to come to the window.
Like,
Ungrateful wee madam.
so she didn't come and say hello?
So, well, this is the thing. She didn't, but her mum and dad and brother did, which was sound to them. But then
That sounds like a child who's been held captive.
then we walked away, and like I just sort of thought I heard Matilda in the background, and then she come out, and the mummy was carrying her, and Matilda went back to her, and then she went like tuck into her mummy's neck, and I was like, you have no idea of gratitude, young lady.
Kids are so rare when they're like around their parents. See, if you like watch your kids playing together in a playground or in school or something, and they're all like run around buck daft, like having the best time, and then the adults appear and they're all, they just get
Yeah,
like
see, you have
weird.
to just leave them to it, don't you? Sometimes.
Winter, my daughter, she's obviously 3, she'll be 4 next week. She is such a tout. Like, she is a goody two shoes, you know, and she,
That's Holly to me.
yeah,
Oldest maybe.
maybe. I think they're like, I know all the rules. So, like, she's been complaining this past week that her friend, they went to a soft play on the bus from nursery. How exciting.
Oh, nice.
Which is so funny because we
Oh,
go,
so they went from
A school
to
trip?
soft- I thought you meant they went on a soft play bus.
oh, no,
Which
no,
would
no,
have
no,
been
no.
Too much soft play to get a soft play bus in the way to soft play. Wow.
It driving down the M1 and then just bouncing around.
In the windows. Wow.
So they went to soft play and she was complaining because her friend, who's her best friend, sat in the window seat on the way there and on the way back.
But that's just obnoxious.
So that's really shitty behaviour. And she was like, I would never do that because that would make someone feel sad. And I was like, are you going to go, did you not tout? And she was like, well, I didn't tell the teacher at the time, but I'm telling you now. And I was like, God, I have to do something about it now.
You go and tell a teacher. Deal with that.
I know. Have you ever been called in by the teacher to like address something?
Yes and no. It was so shit for me because I was just about to go and do radio, BBC and Radio Ulster, and Catherine rang me in tears
Right.
to be like, the teacher has phoned us and she's saying Holly's having a bad time in school because the girl's not being nice to her. And she said, I feel like she, and the teacher said to Catherine, I feel like she's lost her sparkle. And that just really made me really sad.
Oh,
And I was
that's
like,
awful.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's great to hear. And I was like, but could you just fucking deal with this for the next hour and a half?
Yeah.
Because 6:30 until 8 o'clock, I need to be on the radio here. Thank you.
Yeah.
But actually, it made me really sad. It
I'm sure it did.
was grim.
I get the winter teacher last week was like, her and the friend who's her best friend who wouldn't let her sit in the window seat have been like, she was up until lunchtime. They play together perfectly well. After lunchtime, they kill each other. And I was like, that's so weird.
It's like the reverse of hangry.
Exactly. I know. They're like full up angry. Like they're fangry.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Stuffed angry.
Yeah,
Stangry.
stangry.
With a stangry face.
Like, I don't understand. Like, after lunchtime, they just get, sometimes after you eat, you might get a bit sleepy.
Yeah.
And maybe they're just sleepy grumpy. I don't know. But she was like, they always want to play different things, but they won't just go off and play separately. They have to stick together. They've got a really unhealthy, toxic,
Yeah.
like codependent relationship going on.
But then sometimes you need that, don't you? Because like that's the same with Matilda and her friend. But now they play with other kids now too. But it started off being very like the two of them, and then it's all right now, like, which is good.
Will you do anything nice over Easter?
Yes, we're going to Dublin Zoo, which is going to be a fun time.
Why Dublin Zoo? Sorry about
It's a
my
bit
face,
different.
by the way. I was
know,
like,
like it's going to say.
I said,
I
why?
thought you'd be buzzing. Like, why?
Do you not think zoos are weird?
I do, yes.
I don't know. I'm not educated enough in zoos to know how I feel about it, but I want to feel like they're put in a cage.
Yeah, there's that element, but then also what the zoologists would argue back is that it's conservation.
I agree.
So certain animals would just die out.
But then maybe just let them die out. Like,
Yeah.
why is everyone obsessed with keeping all the animals? Why is everyone like, oh, it's an endangered species, there's only 50 of them left in the world, let's do what we can to protect them? Well, they're dying out for a reason, let them go.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you were very religious, you'd be like, what's God's will?
Just let them go. Why do we need 14 different types of polar bears? Let one of them go.
Yeah. Like, why do you need, like, 7 tigers or whatever's left?
What do we care? Oh, saber-toothed tiger with green stripes, there's only 15 left. So? What does it do? Who cares?
I mean, there is that element. Now, people will be like, this is such an ignorant take. Excuse me, how dare you animals? But I mean, I don't really know. Like, this is the thing. Like, I remember I went to Wild Ireland before, which is just...
That's half a mile from my man dad's house.
Up to there. Now, this is going to be bad for these guys because the plan in Wild Ireland, they were like, our like mission statement would be, you know, bring these animals back that once were wild in Ireland. Apart from the monkeys, I don't know how the monkeys got in there because I doubt
there was not wild monkeys in
like, I don't know.
Buncrana.
Those guys must just get off the pirate ship or something.
Yeah.
But they were like, I mean, in an ideal world, we would raise the animals and then just lift the boundaries away.
Aye.
And I was like, and just let bears just wander around Derry.
I know.
You know, people are hanging their washing in the summertime and they get mauled to death. It's a stupid idea.
People are just in like a bar in Derry in a bear box and sits down.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's like, you see those guys, they're always like, oh man, the grizzly man. I lived in the wilderness. I raised myself with bears. Like, oh, what happened to the grizzly man? Bear at him.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, not him. He did sex trafficking and other stuff.
Oh, right.
That was different. I can't blame him for that one. But then the lion people, they're like, and then they got the cub, and then the cub became. Oh, really? That's a lovely relationship. What happened?
I mean, of course.
Monkeys.
going to.
Chimpanzees are the worst.
Aye.
They eat everyone's face. That's why Michael Jackson had to get rid of Bubbles.
The wee Bubbles?
Yeah,
No.
'cause I mean-
Blanket? No, it's his child.
No, it's a child.
You got rid of them all.
Yeah, but I mean, but
I always thought it was really funny that time he hung the baby over the balcony for everyone to see and put a blanket over its head, but the baby was called Blanket. That's funny to me.
I mean, it's also weird that they're like, oh, it's mad that he hung a baby over a balcony, and it was sweet about him just bucking them.
Oh, yeah.
Allegedly. I don't want his own kids. He's not stinking.
I don't have a problem with all the endangered animals. I don't think we should be going out and going, just shoot it. It's going out anyway. But I don't understand what the big urge is to keep them going.
Yeah, I mean, there must be something.
Like, imagine back when there was the dinosaurs and everyone was like, oh, don't let them go. Where would we have been then?
You have a lot of just big creatures just wandering about. Maybe dinosaurs would be sweet for, like, I don't know, farming or something.
Apparently, we've got it wrong and dinosaurs were wee.
Wee?
They weren't big. Apparently, I don't know, the skeletons probably prove otherwise, but apparently, like, we've got it.
Those ones in the museum and all are pretty big.
Yeah, but then how do we know they're not just putting 5 dinosaurs' bones together? Like, you could just make a jigsaw. You could just go, oh, there's 10 bones that make up the spine. We'll just do 30 and make it massive. Like, they're rebuilding that dinosaur.
So what you're saying is you could have 5 dinosaurs?
So what I'm saying is,
or
right,
a big elephant?
think of a skeleton, right? A skeleton in anybody. Once all the flesh and the muscle and everything's gone, the bones aren't attached to each other. They're all individual, aren't they?
Yes.
Right. So it's the muscle.
Tendons and ligaments and stuff.
Aye. So once all that rots away, like a Burger King burger,
yeah,
you've just got bones left. So you could take one out and put another one in. Who's to say?
I get what you're saying. It's like you're saying. So if you get like a Star Wars Lego set,
yes,
right, and a Harry Potter Lego set,
yes,
and you pour all the Lego into one big thing and you scatter it around,
aye,
you're just you're like, oh well, this does technically clip onto this, but it's not that part of that set.
Exactly. And how are we, Billy, no ideas? How are we supposed to know that the big dinosaur like skeleton that they've got in the museum isn't just 5 different dinosaurs' bones all stuck together?
Because one of them's like a skull, which is a pig.
The skull, fair enough.
Yeah. Then they're probably gonna go, well, that's a pretty big noggin this guy's got.
Big head, weird body.
I can imagine the dinosaurs couldn't
move, hold their head up.
Just like a little and that's why they all were extinct.
That's they're extinct because they just couldn't move.
And then they made wee noises like just lying there.
But you like the bobbleheads you see in the back of a car?
Or like babies that just start to walk.
Yeah. Do you know, I think it's funny that babies can't do this with their hands? They
Yeah.
can't, because their limbs are so short. So if they lift their arms above their head, their hands don't even touch.
But I don't know what it was. I saw this video of like this baby who just learned to walk, and his uncle was like a little person, and they were doing the same kind of things. It was really cute, but also
Walking?
funny. No, like the wee man was trying to kick himself in the head, and then the baby was like, "I tried to do it," and he's like, "I can't touch my hands," and they were like, "I can't do." And I think the guy's brother just walked in and was like, "Ah, because I can, you two stupid bastards." It was so sly, but it
It's
was
so unfair.
yeah. But
See,
no, babies are rare wee creatures.
But
like,
so they're not like, they're all out of like, what's the word? They're not in proportion.
But is that not again now? Again, we've shown I think so far in this conversation that we don't know a lot
Anatomy.
about anatomy, maybe animals. And, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sounding even. We don't know about anatomy and animals. We don't know about like archaeology.
But
and
here,
things
tell you
like that,
what.
and science.
Yeah, that is true. And I didn't claim to be a specialist or a scientist.
No, what? At least that's fair. At least because this is the thing. People will be in the comments being, "Does Diona not know anything about science and archaeology and biology?" What?
Does anybody? do you
the
know-
people who take them up?
But them people's fancy. But like the average person doesn't know about dinosaur bones. But like you could put a big bone in front of me and you go, "That's a
I could,
dinosaur."
yeah. But I mean, you ask an autistic 6-year-old and they'll tell you everything you want to know about dinosaurs.
This is going to say my son has various dinosaur books. He likes dinosaurs. And I'd be reading it to him at night and it's like, "Oh, the pterodactyl has gone missing. Where is he?" And then you open all the flaps and he's like, "Is this the pterodactyl?" "No, it's a triceratops," or whatever. And do you ever read those books and you're like, "I'm really good at reading dinosaur names." Do you know,
Yeah.
like, you're like, "I didn't know I knew that word."
Like-
and you read it and you're going, "I'm smart."
But how does pterodactyl start with a P?
I know. Does it?
Yeah.
If it was sitting down in front of me, I'd read it out loud.
Like, I remember, do you ever have annoying arguments with people? I was having a debate with Catherine over what the terminology for dinosaur. I was calling it Deinonychus, and she was like, "It's actually called a Deinonychus or something." I was like, "Shut up."
What is that?
It's like a smaller velociraptor.
Wow.
You know the ones with the wee scratch it?
The wee wanky hands?
Yeah, the wee scratchy ones.
Yeah, I don't trust anybody who puts together a dinosaur skeleton.
Do you think you could fall for any conspiracies if people pitched them well enough?
100%.
Like if someone were like, "I think that the dinosaurs were there's only 4 of them," and put them together.
If people give me like, and the thing is whenever I say, "What's your evidence?" someone could just say things out loud and I go, "What, they have evidence?" But it's not like they're directing me like a peer-reviewed paper that's been like, and I've went through it and went to write the research and the data adds up. All they need to do is tell me their opinion and where and sort of why, and then I'll be like, "Aye." Like even, like all the presidency stuff in America and all the Marilyn Monroe stuff. You know what I
Oh, I
mean?
don't know Marilyn Monroe stuff. All I know was like she went around with Kennedy, didn't she?
But apparently they finished her.
Wow.
She was found, like, I think it was meant
in
to
her
be.
gaff, wasn't
It
it?
was meant to be an overdose, I think they were saying.
Yeah.
But like the maid, Juanita. I don't know if she's called Juanita, but she probably is. But she was there and she left and she was in her house with Marilyn, who's not called Marilyn, but by the way, she's called Norma Jean Doherty.
Yeah.
She's called Doherty.
Doherty?
Yeah, Doherty.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think I might have. I don't know.
Can we
I
Google
think
it?
she
'Cause I know
is.
she's called Norma Jean.
Her original name's Norma Jean, and she's a redhead, and she got a nose job.
But I'll tell you something.
No, hold on. So the maid would have been in the house, and then the maid left, and then whenever she came back, she said that she had let the Kennedy brothers in, and their doctor. Apparently, the Kennedy brothers and their doctor went there because Marilyn Monroe was apparently going to end the marriage between the Kennedy brothers
Jackie?
and their Jackie
Alright,
and
okay.
Jackie Kennedy.
I get you. You were close as Mortensen, not Doherty.
Why is that close?
It wasn't.
It's just another name.
Yeah.
I know. I think she was. Well,
Unless she married someone called
do
Doherty.
you know as well that she had a son who was given up for?
I didn't know she had kids.
She had a couple of no, but they were all taken away from her. She had a few abortions. She had a few miscarriages, and she gave birth I think 2 or 3 times. But like she never raised any of them. They were taken away from her straight away. And one of the kids that I know, but there was apparently this whole thing. I'm gonna remember it pure wrong, but apparently one of the assassination attempts on JFK, this guy. Bang bang, right? Didn't do it. Didn't get the job done. And when he was arrested, he had a suitcase with him full of newspaper clippings of Marilyn Monroe, and he was obsessed with Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
And on closer inspection, he was her genetical son.
Oh, wow.
He had been raised
got
by another
killed?
family, like in Texas or something. Pardon?
And they killed him.
No, he tried to kill JFK because he knew that he
okay.
was treating Marilyn Monroe bad, but Marilyn Monroe didn't know that he was her son and he was her son. Like,
And then when did that come out after she died? Why did you not be like, listen, I think she's my ma?
no, I think it came out at the time, but it's all these things that were like covered up because I think
She'll know if she gave birth. She could be like, oh, I remember I actually did do that.
she thought it was a massive shit one day, and it was just like, she's like, oh, because that's the thing. It's like, back then, if you were if you were famous, but she was like a sex symbol, there's no way people would want to look at her and go, you've had kids.
But then she did MILF.
But then, I don't think MILF was a thing back then. It was just minging.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, they were a bit judgmental, weren't they?
Aye.
But I went to see a movie with my mum with her in it. Like, it was Some Like It Hot, I think. And we went down and watched it in the courthouse in Bangor. My mum's favorite film. Tell you what, she was a babe.
She was a babe.
I'd never seen her like moving before. You know,
Yeah.
it's always
You've just seen her on a
photos.
canvas.
Yeah, just like, and then I was like, she is a hottie patati. You would fancy her for sure.
She's a full baby. You can understand why she did so well.
But then, like Hollywood and all, they're so sly, aren't they? Everyone. God
Yeah.
knows what it was like in those days.
And then even like all the girl bands era and boy band era, like they weren't allowed to have boyfriends and girlfriends, or they were seen like unavailable. Look, in the early 2000s, if the boy bands and girl bands had girlfriends or boyfriends, obviously people would be like, well, if Jay from 5 has a girlfriend, then I'm not going to be able to write him.
Yeah, and then it ruins everything. Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
so then you don't want to. He's not on your poster on your wall anymore because you're obviously not. Because every teenage girl and boy thinks they have a chance of writing somebody from S Club 7.
Then the thing about that is, some people have attained that because
True.
some of these guys have got married, and then
Oh,
there
yeah.
you go. You're like, oh my god, that happened.
I know. Do you ever think that if you'd met somebody and then like ended up marrying them and they were really famous?
Yeah, like I'm sure there's some like there was a weird thing I saw recently where I think it's Stephen Baldwin, one of the Baldwin guys.
Yeah.
Is his daughter Hailey Baldwin and married Justin Bieber?
Yeah.
There's a video of them when Bieber was a wee kid, and like he had introduced her, be like, "This is my daughter Hailey," and
They're like
she's a
11.
big fan of yours. I think, well, isn't that sweet?
Well, there's a whole thing at the minute online that apparently she orchestrated the whole thing, and that like she used to get her daddy to book her to stay in hotels that he was staying in and stuff. Whenever they were like teenagers, whenever she wasn't famous but he was.
But then that worked, didn't it? Is she famous now, or is she just famous for having a dad?
I think she's
And then marrying
famous. She's famous. She's obviously a nepo baby, like our kids will be.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And currently are. They're currently benefiting off the back of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm killing it.
Killing it. Although
I'm killing myself with fucking Coke flavoured bottles in the Chinese recorder.
we did go to a like princess day with all the princesses with Winter and her friend, Winter's friend, and
Like Eugenie and Beatrice and co, or what?
no, the real princesses.
Meghan Markle and
Yeah.
kids beating shit out of each other.
No, like Elsa and Anna and all them bitches, and my daughter, they were all and they like brought her up and they let her go up and sing with them in a microphone, and then her wee friend was as if like, oh, I'll get a turn next, and then she didn't because her ma's a nobody, and then I felt so bad because then her wee friend was like, do I not get a go? And I was like, that is so unfair that the perk Winter got.
But then you should have just let her. That'd be alright. You should have went there. Well, that's why she sat at the window on the way to. and
Yeah,
went back and
yeah,
talked
yeah.
about it, You know what I mean? Small wins.
Yeah. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. I would say like if whatever bit of maybe, I suppose I don't even know what you would describe it, maybe not influence, but whatever wee bit of like reputation you have or like
Notoriety.
If it helps the kids, I'll be like, oh sweet. Like if someone's like, here, do you want to come and watch a movie premiere for like a kids film? I'll be like, yes.
Can I tell you the weirdest thing I got for free?
I'd love to know.
My child. They just knocked the bell.
Oh,
No. Do you know? Do we sometimes you might get sent the old thing, and you might get like you might get something gifted.
But by the way, I want more gifts. By the way,
I don't get enough
I don't
gifts.
get enough gifts at all.
I don't get enough
And then
gifts.
sometimes I see people get gifts. I'm like, they don't even like that thing. I would like, what the fuck?
Also, it's my birthday tomorrow, and I will not receive any gifts outside of my family. And I'm like, send me gifts.
But have you said that
No.
publicly? Well,
No.
then there you go. And this is coming out next week. So when people say, retrospectively sent Diona gifts, what sort of gifts would you like to
Currently,
get
it's
for
also if this is next week, it's currently my daughter's birthday. Don't send that nebo bitch
people? Right,
anything.
okay, no. Do you have like, I don't know, Revolut or something you'd set up and people just send you money?
Yeah.
I'm
We'll
pretty
do
sure-
money.
Yeah.
I have had people before online going, can I, like a guy yesterday called Daddy Frank or something on Twitter or TikTok contacted me and was all, can I send you $750 to cover all your bills? And I was like, well, I obviously didn't get back to him, but I was sitting there going, should I accept this? He's not going to send me that. But like,
But I mean, I'd be like, I dead on if you just want to email this to this or send me you to see.
but you think then?
You'd be like, by the way, do you think they're going to cover my bills, bitch, please?
But also, I would be
work
like,
out, Frank.
I probably should just write them then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Maybe that's not what they're after. Maybe like that is not worth $750. We would rather you just came and painted our house or something.
But it could be George Michael. Is he
Daddy Frank.
Yeah, it might be George Michael.
Daddy Frank.
Because there's some woman went on The Chase or something, or a game show, and she wanted to win 18 grand for IVF, and didn't win it. Big Lebet was like, oh, fuck you in your dreams of having a family. Caught.
Oh my god.
And then apparently George Michael contacted the production company, or like, I'd like to pay for her IVF, and he wasn't allowed to like put it out there.
Aye.
And he's like, don't give it out about it. And it only came out after he died that he would do stuff like that. He'd be very generous and a philanthropist, you know. So,
I want to do that for people, but I will secretly film it and post it online on a burner account.
yeah, no, that's right. And I'd be like, oh, I wonder who posted
Oh no! And it's like from inside my house. The weirdest thing I got for free was after Winter was born, as you know, she's a very unsettled baby, and I took her after a few months of health visitors telling me she did not have a tongue tie, and I was like, well, why are my nipples bleeding? And then I took her to get her tongue tie cut to a private place in Lisburn Road, and I have to hold her down because obviously they go in with like scissors to literally cut, although they don't feel it. Apparently they do. I mean, she was absolutely fine. I was in hysterics, holding her like this here, crying as they come towards my 12-week-old baby with a pair of scissors in her mouth. And I was like, and then they cut it, and then I went, right, and then I was like, oh, where do I pay? And they went, no, this is free, we're a big fan of your stuff. And I went, I was like, okay. And then they said, if you wouldn't mind taking a photograph with us at the reception. I'm stood at the reception, like, holding this baby. We're both, like, covered, just, like, snots and tears. I'm all...
She's like Dracula, blood just running in her mouth. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she's like a vampire. She's just feasted. Yeah. But I got it for free. And that goes to show I could have went, no, I'll pay the £120 and then I don't have to, like, get a photograph with me in this state. But I was all, whatever you want.
Yeah. But then there's that thing, too. You know, people might be like, and then... like how they spin it might be like, and you'll never believe she fucking did. I just cut her fucking kids. I cut her kid's tongue, and then she's like, actually, no, I'll pay for it. Fuck, she thinks she is.
By the way, that's the money game right there. That guy was walking around like Edward Scissorhands. There was one in each pair in each hand. He had a couple of rooms, babies lined up, going snip, snip, snip. 3-second job, £120. And that guy was like snip, 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 snip all around that joint and drove out in an unbelievable car. And I was like, that is the.
Yeah, because that's like whenever Holly got wee vents put in her ears, and Matilda got
She got a fence in her ears?
Vents. Like, not a fence, that'd be, I mean, similar kind of job, because she was wee defo.
Right.
So the pop goes in, and it stops having glue ear, and then she can hear again. And then whenever Matilda got her tonsils out, the guy just went to see him up in a private hospital, and then he was like, yeah, basically I just do a few of these a week, and then that's kind of it.
Aye.
He's like, I'll do a few consultations, then I'll see you up there. I'll do a full day of snipping, and then.
You see, you think you'd be like, oh my God, we're like, Jesus fuck, that's still 11, it takes 2 seconds. But you can't say because something takes a short amount of time, that's not worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because it's a skill that's taken a long time to develop. It's like if you get, I don't know, like you're like a comedian on stage and you're like, oh, so you get paid that then per hour? And you're like, but then the rest of the day I don't work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or archaeologists.
Or archaeologists.
Don't know what dinosaurs or what.
Yeah, but I wonder, do they archaeologists work freelance? And like, do you want to come down and excavate?
Because people get crews together, don't they?
Crews?
Like a crew of people. And not you know, just, well, I mean, probably back in the day, down the Nile.
Dinosaur crews?
You know, because like whenever they used to get people involved. Dinosaur Train, by the way, if you've ever seen that, great TV show, Dinosaur Train, Dinosaur Train. But they used to like gather like people together to go and like be like, here we found this tomb, we need to excavate it, we need to get down and check it out. And then when they did, like, some of those tombs are all haunted and everyone died, and they're like,
Oh, fuming.
Lord Carnarvon, he's a big rich bastard.
I don't know who he is.
He paid for everyone to Robert Carter and all to come and like dig out Tutankhamun.
Right. Is Tutankhamun in the Ulster Museum?
No, it's Matabuti.
Matabuti.
Yeah.
Matabuti is a good name. Matabuti!
Yeah. Matabuti.
Is Matabuti a girl?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. Because she ain't got no willy.
Yeah. Didn't
I suppose, yeah, it's
doesn't
true.
mean you're a girl.
But back in those days, it did. You know,
Definite trigger. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
we know that's a girl.
But then maybe that's another thing. People will go back and check now, like what gender people are or were in history. Like maybe Like Hitler was a they them.
I know.
Yeah.
But Hitler only had one ball, so he probably was a they them.
A eunuch, maybe, if you heard this is a thing.
Eunuch.
Or I think the term eunuchs. I was just listening to a podcast on the way down here. It was all about the eunuch maker. This guy who, like, has a sexual fetish like thing where he gets people to willingly come to him and he cuts like their willies and balls off and stuff, and they want to be like eunuchs, you know.
But what do you mean they want to have nothing?
They're like, yeah, and it's like this condition apparently.
Like a Ken doll?
Yeah, like there's things called nullos now that are people who like feel this urge to have bits cut off them. So people sometimes get their nipples cut off, bits of their ears, their legs.
People are mad.
Mental, yeah. So he's the eunuch maker, and he would just like post it online. Apparently there's like social media website and all for it where you have to pay, you know. It's presented like Instagram where you're like,
and then
a story.
And then what is he has a wank?
No, I don't think he is a wank. I just think he does it.
I always say, this is what I always say. This would be like my kids going, what my ma always said was, if you can think it, someone's wanking to it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I saw someone say something, I can't remember what comedian it was, someone on stage one time said that they have their fetishes are that weird that they typed them into Pornhub and no results came up. She was like, because like everything, there's like everyone has such weird. That's what I worry about, like young, like teenage boys who are getting older, because the weird fetishes that are so readily available to them, they'll not be able to blow.
But you know what the problem
when they get
is
older?
too? You need to just be beat a bit more, I think.
You need to be beat
a bit more, like, you know, whenever not off, but like. You know, like little incel guys, I hate women. You know what you need? Bullied. Yeah. That's why bullying's there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys, I hate, like, shut up.
I know.
You know?
Those wee like woke kids and all could be doing me a good bit of bullying.
Yeah, that's it. Like, because that's the thing. They think they can do and say whatever they want, and there's no, like Mike Tyson said, people are fucking getting all a bit lippy when they're behind a keyboard. You know, you'll only be lippy until you get punched in the face.
Bring back bullying.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a part. Not my kids, but I mean. And I teach my kids not to bully, but I think some kids need. Would
you rather your kids were the bully or the bullied?
The bullied, I think.
I think so too.
Because then I could get the kids back, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if my kid was a bully, it wouldn't be good for my career either, you know.
No.
Detrimental. Be like, you're the bully raiser. No.
It's the name of your next show.
Yeah. Dad of Bully.
The bully raiser.
Yeah. And then it's so shit because I used to have a nice fucking parent podcast at BBC and all that, and then my kids turn out to be wee rat bullies. Yeah. Like, listen, guys.
Like they're walking around with scissors, just snipping people's tongue ties, and they're not even been asked to do it.
But what do you think, like of? Do you ever watch Lionel Dahmer, Jeffrey's dad, talking about Jeffrey being like, I don't know why he's fucked up as he is.
But did he not take him out to kill animals, roadkill?
No, but he did, like, I think, like taxidermy, which is it's creepy.
Yeah.
But I think they just picked it up. I don't think he was killing the animals.
No, but but to allow your child to give them access to a room full of dead animals, to give them an intrigue into dead animals when they're now in saying that Sean stopped the car one time and let Winter get out and investigate a dead badger, and she called it the dead danger. She couldn't say badger, and Sean took a photograph of it in his phone and all, and she would ask time and time again, this went on for about 6 months, could she see the photograph of the dead danger again? And she, one time...
How old is she at that time?
Just turned 3.
Wow.
And she said, can I see...
Were you with them?
No.
Yeah, because I'd have been like, absolutely not. That's weird.
No, I might remember it wrongly, didn't let her see the actual dead danger, but it was just on the phone. But he did go take a photograph of the dead badger and then show her it. And then she'd be sitting in the car at times, I could see her going, I just can't stop thinking about the dead danger. And I'd be like, Winter, stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about the dead danger. Listen, think about something else. Sing a song, Mama, put the radio on. And she'd be all, but I want to think about it. I want to think about the dead danger. And I literally was going, can't wait to see who she murders.
Yeah, but...
I hope it's not me.
What was he hoping to achieve from that? Like, what was his...
I think it was an experiment. I think he was like, it's a real slow burn experiment. He was doing that to see what happened in 20 years' time if we could derive it back to that day.
Then you know what'll happen if she does do anything. You'll be like, is that fucking dead danger? That's what it was.
Was that dead danger? Yeah.
You started that.
Yeah, when she kills only people who have black hair with white streaks through it.
Yeah. It's the emos.
Just emos.
Just the wee white face and black hair just killed. The red danger. Dead danger.
It should be the emo killer, the dead danger.
Yeah. But then that's the thing. Like, I think like you know, when people are like, that's the parents' fault, I do think parents have a lot of responsibility in how they raise good or bad kids. But I think if you're evil, it's kind of in there, isn't it?
There anyway.
But you can just encourage it. You know what I mean? It's like if you're like, I think you think how many people are out there who are maybe better sportsmen or better actors or better
Singers.
singers.
It's the singers.
Yeah. Well, they're all in Philippines. You know that. You see
Yeah.
those karaoke guys. Have you seen that little skinny guy? With
I've
long
seen
hair?
Got Talent.
Oh, it's insane. He sings that like, I always cook back on my own. And he sounds like a woman exactly. It's brilliant.
But isn't it amazing how like the ones like the Philippines
Yeah.
and stuff, they talk in their Filipino accent, which I'm not gonna do, and they start singing and they're all goodbye.
Yeah.
American. They also like Celine Dion.
And then it's like, where did
Who
these
isn't
guys get
American?
this? Yeah, she's Canadian. Isn't she?
She's Canadian.
She's Canadian. But yeah, like those. But how many people have not been discovered, and how many people have not like had the provision to get into like sport or to play? You know, to
So
develop?
if you're a class singer by nature, because that is the way it works, your vocal cords just must be a certain way.
Yeah, probably.
That's all that is, surely. You've got. I always think vocal cords are just like look like the center part of a guitar, just sat in your throat.
But you. Oh, speaking of, on that that Eunuch podcast I was listening to, there's a thing. I can't
By the
remember
way,
exact
weird that you were
thought.
listening to that.
Yeah, but it's a podcast I listen to. Big shout out to Surity and Hannah who do Red Handed. It's
Okay.
one of my favourites.
Okay.
True crime podcast. Very popular. I don't know why it's far more popular than this, but it's a good time. But they're saying that there's also, and now this is how much you have to question the level of commitment to the art. There's back in the day you cut men's balls off if they were good singers, so then they didn't like lose their high pitched voice. So like,
But they had done that when they were kids.
yeah. But then there's a dude who they showed a clip of. He was like in his 50s, and he was singing. He sounded like a little choir boy, and that's freaky to me. You know, just to keep his high pitched
So
voice.
do you think they are connected?
There must be in some way.
They can't be. I think obviously your balls drop and your voice drops lower at the same time, but they can't be connected. Can't be the day your balls lower that your
But
voice
I
just goes,
think- I
oh.
think what they're saying is like, because is when you get rid of them, you obviously lose the
Testosterone.
which that doesn't affect everything, you know. So I don't
So
know.
that is stored in your balls, the testosterone?
Well, it's formed in there. I don't know if it's stored, but that's where it's created. So that's whenever they castrate bulls and all, they just cut their balls off.
So what time's the burglary? Do you mean burglary?
Maybe hat.
You look, your hat is. If I seen you with that hat on, I didn't know you. I'd be all obviously
Yeah.
he's just coming from a burglary.
A burglary. But I mean, I think the rest of the red and stuff's a wee bit kind of
But you would be like
conspicuous burglar.
no, but like hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, because that's just why I thought I was a bit of a psycho when I was younger. When we did badness in the street, like rap and run or
Yeah.
kick stuff at windows or
What do you call it? Rap and run.
Rap and run, just I don't know. You know,
Sean calls
rap,
it
rap and run.
knock door run. Rap door run.
Rap
We
door
called
run.
it knick knock.
Yeah, well we'd do that, and then like all my mates would be sprinting down the street, and I just walk, calm, and then
Yes.
when they come out, I'd be like,
Yeah, those guys.
bastards. Also, I was fatter and unfit as a child, and I wasn't able to run.
Yeah,
So,
you're like I've got a strategic plan and also absolutely zero cardio.
Yeah. Now you're like, what's that noise? Oh, it's just all the stones in my pockets. Chunk, chunk, chunk. I carried them. But yeah, actually, disrespectfully, Holly did ask Catherine once, can my daddy run? And she's like, yeah, I think he's got the ability to if he needs, but I mean, don't think he's brought it out much. You know, I think so.
Why does she? Oh, because you just don't run.
Apparently not.
But you run in the gym twice yesterday.
Yeah, I did. I'm training at the minute to do a leg of the marathon again because last year was the worst experience of my life, so I want to be less painful this year.
Did Sean pull out last year? Did he do it? Or did he pull out? Or you didn't know leg of the marathon with other comedians?
Mm-hmm.
I think Sean was supposed to do it last year,
Yeah.
and then something happened and he pulled out.
Yeah, well, I might
Classic Sean.
pull out this year. But
Is
you know
Sean doing
what?
it this year?
No, I think I'm doing it with Dan, Fosty, Shane, and Mickey. So it was Dan and Fosty did it with me last year.
Right.
That was Darren.
You say that like they held your hand and you all ran beside each other. They
Yeah.
did it with you.
No, it felt like that, but it was actually it's fun in the lead up to it. You
It's
know,
not.
You're having a bit of crack, and you're like. But I actually enjoyed the runs today and yesterday, believe it or not.
Running, I think, is the worst sport ever.
It is. I'd rather lift weights, but that's the thing. I think I'm just going to try and I'm just really trying to lose the weight at the minute. So it's. a bit
But I
easier
feel
on
like
the joints and all.
When I run, that my brain is knocking against my skull. Like I can't explain the feeling. I feel like my brain is obviously small in my head. That it knocks against my skull when I run.
Like, it does make sense, doesn't it? That could be what it is. Just checking you're okay for time here.
What time is it?
3:05.
Oh,
Probably
well.
not. So and I have a wee
Oh, yes, okay.
Zoom at 10 past. We'll get a couple of questions and we'll wrap
Go.
it up. But before we do, are you allowed to talk about what you're getting up to?
The thing that you're getting up to.
I'm not getting up to anything. So
Well, then, let's not get up to anything together.
Okay, that sounds good. And but you have your own a new podcast now. It'll be what, 2 weeks into it now?
This is it'll be 2 weeks into it, maybe 3. Yeah, girls group chat. The day we launched, we were like the #1 UK trending podcast. It was very exciting. There's obviously been a lot of hullabaloo about people who were annoyed that they weren't invited to our podcast event.
This is the Sly Guy podcast.
Yeah.
Let's get it out. Are you wound up with people? Or people being annoying?
I found this really funny. So we threw a podcast launch party, and we invited lots of people who work in the media, or people who are like starting out in social media, or who are established on social media, because you know how those things go. You invite people to spread the word. That's how those things go.
Like a COVID super spreader.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with the podcast.
Smart idea.
So it was like 250 people there. It was absolutely rammed. It was really good. But
Can I
then
just say I was invited, but I couldn't go because I had to go to Splash Pool.
Johnny Bow came. And
Yeah, because it was full of good-looking women, and he's a pervert.
He's a pervert. Well, his wife was there.
Yeah.
And they both perverts.
2 perverts.
Yeah. So what happened was then after
But I was at a Splash Pool. I couldn't go because I was doing something.
you were to splash, you can swim.
Well, I was there for the kids. It was a kid's birthday party.
It
2
was
to
so
4.
funny if you were there on your own. A kid's birthday party in a swimming pool.
Yeah, Splash Pool. Rented the area. Shout out to the Blair Main Leisure Centre in Newton.
But do you have to go in?
Well, you can go in if you want.
Aye.
But I didn't this time, and then I was like one of the only dads that didn't.
But are they old enough to go in?
Yeah, like 4. But it's a small. It's not a deep.
Oh,
pool,
it's just like
wee
a couple
splash pool.
inches.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So what happened was then the launch party happened. Oh, it was a great buzz. It was really, really fun time.
Was there
And
drinking?
then there was all booze at. Oh, we had pancake maker at it and all. There was cupcakes. It was a good time. Anyway, a lot of people making videos online then the following couple of days, complaining that they weren't invited. So what we did is we invited lots of people who have small social media followings, who are starting out on social media. It was like their first event, because we were thinking, oh, this would be like great fun for them. And then people who are starting out in social media are eager to then like share stuff, and it's smart. And lots of people like that came. So then there was lots of other people who have like, you know, very low numbers of followers, but like are starting on social media, complaining that then they weren't invited. And then so we were just like, but we can't invite everyone. We don't know who everybody is.
Yeah.
But then there's been like brands, PR people, award ceremonies, people all that you know of, who've been like, we see that people weren't invited to the girls group chat podcast launch, and we're now curating a list of all these micro influencers that we can't wait to invite to our next event, because we feel so bad. That is so unfair what happened to you. You're like, but you've never fucking invited them to an event of yours before. Like, you've never once brought them to an event of yours. So why are you now piggybacking off the back of this? It's actually ragged my shite today. The past few days I've been laughing at it, going, this is so silly. But today I'm like annoyed.
Yeah.
I'm more annoyed about the people who are like, who like run big events all the time and don't invite people unless they have lots of followers. Of course, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, that's so sad that everybody in the world didn't get invited to this.
But you know what, they're trying to do that thing where, you know, people are like, well, we're actually great people, you know, it's us. And
Yeah.
do you know what I think of that as well? Another thing, in today's day and age, when we're celebrating women, it's women bringing down women.
I know,
It's mean,
really
it's disrespectful. It's not good.
It's like so annoying. But anyway, despite that, it's been a very, very positive podcast launch.
And can I ask this question? Because this is what I'd be wondering. How are you going to get all 4 of us in a room all the time? It's going to be consistent. You're going to pre-record. What are you going to do?
We have our dates booked right through for the next 6 months that we're going to do. So yeah, we have figured out which night of the week is the quietest for us all, and we're sticking to that.
Monday. Start the week right.
Start the week right. Right.
And did you know everyone? Did you all know each other before? What was the kind of...
So like what happened was, I just felt like there was a gap for this type of podcast, which is like pure girly stuff, and I knew of all the girls and had met them all and and some of them knew, like I know Jordan Arnold from Q80 years, and she also knows the other two girls years and years, and the two, Olivia and McVeigh and Shannon Mitchell, both know each other years, so everyone sort of knows everyone in a way. And I was like, right, who are the people that should join me in this podcast? And I was like, I'll get the 3 like most amazing women I think that are working in media now, and none of them got back to me. So then I had to contact these 3 other girls, and they did get back straight away. It was really, it was like embarrassingly eager, and so we all got together, and it's us.
You enjoy their company? You enjoy the vibe?
They're absolute bitches. They're the worst people I've ever met, and they should not be invited to the podcast lunch next time.
Well, good, but what I think you should do is just call out the people who are trying to...
Do you know what's funny?
Get them to start a beef. Let's start a beef here.
I'd love to start a beef war. There are lots of people. I'm like so much less, like I can't really control it. Like I'm all I want to just say about it. But anyway, there's so many people being like, the next time, can we get invited to the next launch? You know, it's launched. It's gone. It started. What do you want me to do? Relaunch it?
You should do that, the relaunch. and just see who's gonna go, and then
Yeah.
be like, fucking losers. You keep
I
the
know,
relapse on
yeah,
your
yeah.
launch. Like whenever people renew their vows, you should do their launch, the renewal.
The relaunch.
Yeah,
It was so funny if we should do a good event and call it the relaunch.
and people
People will
go.
love that.
But yeah, well, I've asked a couple of questions, and we'll depart. I'm just doing double check that I'm supposed to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I've not been given any link or anything, so I don't even know if I'm doing this.
What are you talking about?
I have a wee call to do, a Zoom call after, but no one sent me shit.
Oh yeah, it's probably in your junk.
Yeah, because that's what I think. Bullshit. Right, Neil's got a question. They'll just do Neil's quickly. Really enjoyed Daddy What's a Podcast, guys. Your episode was great, Diona. Are you listening
Dave.
to anything cool at the minute? Or are you more podcast people?
I'm listening to Defying Gravity on repeat 12 times a day because my daughter is OCD about listening to it. What other stuff? I love listening to Diary of a CEO. That's my jam.
Yeah.
Because that is where I learn all my information. And apparently it's all like skewed in the one way, but I
Yeah.
just like listening to it.
Yeah, no, I used to like that one, but do you ever go, I go off podcasts and I go off people. Like
Yes.
comedians and stuff. There's
Yes.
people I used to always like, and now I don't like them. And when there's specials, I'm like, I don't like you. At the minute, I mean, I don't necessarily say they're not funny. I just don't like them.
Yeah. But I do ingest a lot of specials, a lot of Netflix specials when I'm on the Stairmaster.
Who do you like? What have you seen recently that's been good?
Who have I seen recently? Oh my god, no, I can't remember anyone's names.
You know who I like? Taylor Tomlinson. I think she's
Taylor
great.
Tomlinson, I
Yeah.
watched all 3 of her
Really
specials
like
in the
her.
past year.
Yeah,
She's brilliant.
I think she's great.
Do you know she's the only female comedian in the top 10 comedian earners in the world?
Well, she deserves it.
She's the other 9 are men, but she's the only one. She does deserve it.
Great.
I watched her latest one about 3 weeks ago. Shane Gillis as well watched his a few months ago. Who else do we love?
Well, I watched Bert Kreischer's and
I haven't got to watching his yet.
Andrew Schultz.
I started watching Andrew Schultz and
I
had
watched
to.
them. I watched them. I just didn't even watch them all.
Do you know what? I watched the first 10 minutes of Andrew Schultz and then I thought, God, it's wild. It's like saying, I know you can say what you want in comedy, but I was like, there's some of these things you shouldn't say. But homophobic and all.
Yeah, but I think like people think it's mad to say like slurs and all that.
I know. You did say fruit about half an hour ago.
But a fruit's nothing to do with homophobia. What are you talking about?
No, I know. I didn't think it was.
A fruit is just a little
Yeah, a pomegranate.
wimp.
Oh, right,
There's no
okay.
sexuality in being a fruit, is there?
Oh, is there not? Right, okay.
No. My dad called me a wee fruit and all when I was a kid, and he wasn't like,
I guess what your dad meant, but you should go back and ask him.
I will. I'm fucking.
I think that's what your dad
When
meant.
I'm gonna get these vomit bottles away, I'll bring
Yeah.
that to my daddy.
You should.
I will, Diona. Thank you very much.
It's
for
been a
coming on.
pleasure.
It's been a lot of fun, and keep it out. Follow the girls. Oh, by the way, I need to say this because you put a video up about the podcast and you put the wrong handle on it, and it was just this wee random weird podcast.
Do you know how many people messaged
like-
me going, if you're directing everyone to the wrong podcast?
Yeah,
I
was like,
know.
that's- but I mean, that was funny because I'm like, we're of a certain age now where like you can make those wee faux pas.
I uploaded one of our clips to Twitter to TikTok, and I really know how TikTok. I'm not good on TikTok.
Yeah.
And Olivia, who's like really brilliant on TikTok, who's in the podcast, messaged me going, "Did you even tag any of us? Have you ever heard of a hashtag?" And I was all, "You may go and edit that
Yeah.
because I have just uploaded it
sort
and
it.
left."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the same as me. I don't know. I spent 20 minutes trying to get my recorder out
Out of Chinese.
But anyway, Diona, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
That was good fun.
I bet you it's not recorded.
I'm the sly guy.